So this is the Accra J interchange, formerly known as the Sankara interchange, which was built between 1997 and 1999 by the then Jerry John Rawlings government. Now this is a strategic location because it links the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Ghana Police Headquarters, to the Flagstaff House or to the Jubilee House and the 37 Military Hospital. Now, as you can see behind me, there's some artwork going on, and it is part of a 5-phase project by the Ghana Creative Arts Council and the government of Ghana to beautify the city of Accra. Dubbed the Accra Beautification Project, the move is aimed at beautifying the capital city. Sources say it is a collaboration between the Korle Klottey Municipal Assembly, the Ghana Association of Visual Artists (GAVA), and Accra.alt, an independent cultural network. In all, there are about 50 professional artists working on the project, which is said to be the first of 5 phases. Lawrence Kwekuajiman, General Secretary of GAVA, explained the rationale behind the project. Sir, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Right, so quickly, could you tell us the importance of this, the arts?
Well, the importance of this, what we have done here, basically is to help beautify the city of Accra. We know that the facing of walls has been a challenge in our city. And then over the years, there's been a lot of complaints about, posters all over the place. And now that we are even entering an election year, you can imagine what is going to happen. The walls all over the place being defaced with posters. The issue of beautifying our environment has become very, very critical because people have traveled to other places, to all parts of the world, and they can testify to how beautiful the environment are. And one of the things that has helped in the beautification of such environments, apart from the management of waste, is the use of artworks, murals, to beautify spaces. And that is what has been transpiring here. We as artists felt that what we can also contribute in the beautification of our environment is with our murals. And that's exactly what we are doing here.
Mr. Kwekuajiman hinted that there are other areas to be worked on and said it is not just about paintings, but other forms of artwork will be considered. As the General Secretary of the Association of Visual Artists, Mr. Kwekuajiman bemoaned the lack of adequate investment in arts, saying arts could contribute drastically to help shore up accruing revenue to the state. He said this can only be achieved if proper data is kept and enough attention is given to the sector.
There are several spaces that have been identified. For instance, the municipal assemblies have actually identified lots of spaces that we can have some of these things that are happening here replicated, not only in Accra, but in other parts of the country. And I think that in Accra, here are several spaces. As I'm speaking, about 5 spaces have been identified. And then it's been earmarked as, if you like, the first phase of the use of artwork in the beautification of spaces. This place is one of them. What we are currently doing here is actually the phase 1 of this interchange. This interchange is in 2 phases. The phase 1 is the middle, part of the bridge. The phase 2 is the lower part of the bridge, where you have the street coming from GBC towards the police headquarters. That's the phase 2. Apart from that, there are other places like the Ifwa Sutherland Park, the space in the AU Square, and then the walls all the way to the Ifwa Sutherland Park. We are looking at that space behind the Accra Sports Stadium. There's a huge space there. That space also has been earmarked for some development and beautification. We are looking at sculptural pieces. For instance, you look at AMA in front of the PWD. There's a triangle there. Yeah. That space has also been earmarked for some sculpture. When we talk about visual artists, it's not only about murals, it's not only about paintings. We are also thinking about sculptural pieces. At the end of the day, we want lots of visuals that can help beautify the environment. So we are looking at what is suitable for a particular space, then we can have. So a lot of spaces, that's what I've mentioned.
So to what extent do you think art can help in generating revenue for the country?
Art plays a huge role in revenue generation for the country. In fact, art is inextricably linked with our very existence. It's unfortunate that our part of the world, we have not come to appreciate art as such. Everything around you has passed through the hands of an artist. The dress you are wearing was designed by an artist. The shoes you are wearing, the architecture, buildings, architects are also artists. Fashion designing, whatever. So we see that art plays a huge role. The people that are in the culture industry, what they are contributing to GDP. It's unfortunate that it has not been captured well in the statistics, but they are contributing so much. Most of these artists are self-employed. They are not liabilities on society. They don't finish school and go to the government looking for unexistent jobs. They create jobs themselves because they are creative. And so they create jobs, they paint, they have their exhibitions. So they are creating employment. You have situations where one artist can employ 2 or 3 people to help him to execute his work. And so they help in creating employment, helping people to earn income, and then also taking that burden off the shoulders of the government. So they don't become liability to the government. They have a way of creating employment for themselves. And so they contribute hugely to the GDP of Ghana. It's time that perhaps the statistical service will reconsider going into some research to establish exactly what they contribute to GDP. And I think that it will blow your mind what they are doing. I think that we are going to get there.
One of the artists working on the project who spoke to Yen News outlined some challenges confronting artists in Ghana and said the project is a step in the right direction.
Yes, we have a lot of challenges in Ghana. Look at my food as an visual artist. We are being refused to be recognized by the state. And the reason is that they are forgotten that everything that is being implemented in Ghana is being created by the artist. The road, the structures, the buildings and everything is being created by the artist. But we are not recognized anywhere, and that is very bad as at now.
So what do you think can be done to help you practically? What can government do?
Yes, we're also asking our president or whoever is in charge to recognize us, because now we don't have even galleries for us to show our works there. As now, the state of the art center is very bad, and nothing has been there. We need a lot of innovations there, and nothing has been there. And when you look at the system as now, they invest their money into different things altogether, do a lot of structure somewhere which they have refused to take over us as an artist, and that is our problem as of now.
And finally, let's talk about art education in Ghana. Do you think a lot of attention has been given to education when it comes to arts?
And that is what I was telling you earlier on, that because of the situation, a lot of people divert their courses into different things. We have people who are very good in the field of art, but they have diverted their courses because they cannot survive. Where is the galleries that they are going to sell their works there? Where are the things that they are going to work with? And they are being frustrated in such a way that people finish tech as an artist and then they divert their course to work in MT and other fields, which is very bad. There's only few people who have sustained the field of art to work up to this day, and it's very bad. Even looking at our schools as are now, at our tertiary schools and everything, they don't even teach the art there, and it has become a very big problem to all of us. So the association is even thinking of, if the government can assist us or help us, we can go to that field and see what we can do. For us, we have a lot of artists in the system.